What we doing? What we doing? What we doing? What we doing? Where you want to start? Where you want to go? Anywhere in the world? What we got? What we got? What we got? What? Give me a take. Give me a take. Give me a take. Give me a topic. Topic. Take. How you feel? How you feel? How you feel? Topic. Take. Bold take. Bold take. Bold take. Hey. What we got? What we got?
Want to start with Cam and Jim?
Got to.
I mean,
Nah, I don't want to, but yeah,
we kind of have to.
No, we do have to. Cam and Jim.
It's heating up.
So Monday came and
everybody was waiting for Monday.
Correct, because
before you say a word, I do got it. I'm shouting out Cam for the return. That is how you return.
It was over the plate for him.
That thing was 300,000 views in 2 hours. That thing was moving like hotcakes. We as a people love a mess. I know that we don't never want to say that. We love to see a mess. Boy, do them numbers jump when it's a goddamn mess outside. So yeah, but then he doubled back. You got Elliot on episode 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Listen to that today.
Which you commend for being able to invite people that you had smoke with or that had smoke with you or negative things to say about you on your show. That is a skill.
Yeah.
That means you put in the gig first. So before we get into anything, I do want to shout him out. That's how you fucking return a show. He's doing it.
Elliot walked it all back.
Of course.
Yeah.
He walked it back with Savon, which is fucked up. We love a mess. What he said on that other show, Down the Dow, took off.
Uh-huh.
The cleanup was on Savon's show, and that's family, but didn't get the same traction.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that he was able to go on Cam shit and clean it up. Elliot, yeah. For 2025, stop that take, Elliot. That's a bad...
I really like the retort of, I wrote too, I was a rapper.
Yeah.
That was great to me.
Yeah.
Elliot was a rapper?
No, Cam.
Oh, Mel,
Cam,
can you go to Starbucks, please? Please go to Starbucks and get a hot apple cider for me.
Elliot's thing is usually like,
I'm a journalist.
I've been writing, I've been telling stories, blah, 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 blah. These rappers, athletes, so forth are not.
Got it. I understand.
But Cam's
that part.
retort was, I wrote too since I was 9 years old. It wasn't in the same format, but I'm a writer too.
Still was writing.
Understood.
And
he told him people don't give a fuck about all of that writing shit. Today is personality based. If you out there chasing a guest, then you already lose.
Yeah.
That is a fact.
Like, he was honest with him. And nothing that I haven't already told Elliot a million times, but whatever.
Elliot wasn't all the way wrong though either.
In what?
He was like 90%. He was 90% wrong.
He was dinosaur wrong.
He was all the way wrong.
What's his 10% that he was right?
And he didn't say it well because he was all the things on that show. But I think what's missing is when you are a journalist and then you open up the space to everybody who's not journalist. I'm fine with that. I don't care. But it can be confused and people can start to think that other thing is journalism. Mm-hmm. And the danger of that is two things. One, it changes your expectations. Like every time Shannon Sharp interviews somebody and people get mad at what he didn't ask and what he didn't do, it's like,
he's not a journalist.
He's like, that's not what I do. Don't expect that of me. But to me, it also gives the guests an out because now they go to the places where they don't actually have to confront a journalist. Politicians do it all the time. They go on these shows that aren't going to ask them real questions because they don't have to. So that's the audience thing. The second thing for me is, you know what? I'll leave it there. For me, that's the big issue.
I got a problem with your very first sentence, and then I'll toss it right to you.
Because in real journalism, that doesn't take place either. It's very, very few platforms nationwide where the tough questions are asked. And that's in any forum, in any genre of journalism.
Yeah.
But
we barely ask questions, though. It's not unique journalism anymore. This ain't I don't even think it was happening back then.
But it's not just about the tough question. It's also about the preparation that goes into it. It's about knowing the story, reading the story, being informed on the story. Those
also
are things.
Ethics.
Yeah, but a lot of times you got these folks that'll come in there and say, yo, we're not talking about this. We're not talking about this. We're not talking about this. We're not talking about that. And all your preparation, you was prepared to ask them about A, B, C, D. Yeah. And they tell you, we can't touch this.
And since when has journalism...
Or either we touch it, or we're not doing it. If you try to touch it, we're not doing an interview.
I feel you. I'm.
What's happened is these acts have taken the power back into themselves.
That's true.
See,
that's really what.
And I'm okay with that.
But that's where my issue is with his first sentence, which was you, and then you open this up to nobody opened this up to these personalities. Nobody just created, and probably if they had the choice, Elliot might not have, clearly by how he feels about things. But you didn't open it up. It's such a the illusion of some type of control that you have.
That's true.
Right? we didn't. The next generation, after the Ponds, there's the streamers. After the journalists, there's the personalities. We needed the Stuart Scotts to run up in the companies and teach them what some sauce looked like.
It was a bridge.
One. And two, once the birth of the iPhone got here, we're doing it ourselves now. So the journalists needed a publication or a publisher or some type of
platform.
It's the personalities that took this shit in their own hands and
Well,
was
that's
like,
not entirely true. Journalists today,
journalists can do the same thing.
Different
now.
outlets.
They can use the same
today
platforms everybody
because
else
we all have the same rights. But
Right.
I'm talking about the chain of command that we grew up in, which was because that's what Elliot talks about, and that's where Elliot made his heyday. Double XL, the sauce.
But I think
hip-hop.
that's what I think it's a almost. Let me word this right. I think it's almost a jealousy thing, because what happens is a lot of journalists were behind closed doors, and a lot of them niggas got the personality of a wet mop, and so when you get this athlete or when you get this rapper or when you get this other individual
Who's
that didn't come
charismatic
from a
and shit.
journalistic background, they didn't have formal training in journalism, but when they get on that microphone, i.e. Joe, and get to going, it gets to going.
Yeah,
And so
it's-
now you putting these niggas
It's more
damn near
sauce.
out of a job.
It's more sauce in the chili.
Because I can learn it. I can learn the stats. Gilbert Arenas can learn the stats.
When
you
you-
know what I'm saying? But you can't take some of these journalists, sports journalists, and give them what he got.
When you journalists was there, we had to taste the ground beef. It just tastes like journalists. It just tastes like, you know what I mean? It tastes like, that's my problem with listening to Torre talk about Kendrick and fucking Drake. Not that he shouldn't. Not that he don't have a really valid
Journalist.
take and opinion. Journalist Torre.
Well, he's sort of a journalist, personally.
But I want to hear, throw some sauce in the mix. Everybody got their own sauce. The podcasters, the personalities, the streamers. There's
The
nothing wrong.
journalists, too.
And
There's nothing wrong with
and
the
it's-
field having sauce.
But my issue is, at this point, sometimes we act as if there's no value to journalism. That basically anybody can do it.
But it has that-
It's like picking up an iPhone. Everybody takes pictures now. And now we act like you don't actually need a photographer. There's something that a photographer can do that is a unique skill that no matter how many iPhones and high quality, powerful cameras we pull out, they can't do unless you're trained at it. And again, I'm not mad at all these people having platforms. I think they should. You know what I mean? I think they should. I think they should do it. I ain't got nothing bad to say about that. I'm just saying that sometimes in the midst of that, we lose the value of actual journalism. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with Marcus.
A lot of people, like a lot of journalists,
I
these days-
don't.
I don't
think
either.
that's
I don't
agree
I
with
think
that.
that's a small sample
And
size of
nobody
people
shooting
talking
at
about
I think that we all
Which is why I said
scratch
10%
each other's
of what he
backs.
said.
I think journalists, podcasters, media members, and artists all scratch each other's
agree.
backs. And if we just realize that and recognize that, we can all be cool.
Man, I think the journalists used to. It was only them.
Yeah, they weren't-
Like now,
the journalists be shooting.
they was the gatekeepers. Now it was like you had to go and interview with this journalist
true.
because you're not being talked about in Double XL if you don't go sit with Elliot and let him
True,
talk.
true.
Now we don't need you.
That's right. And
Now
that's a big part
it's
why they
opened
mad.
up, and now they could do this, they could do that. I could go over here, I could go here, I could upload and talk to myself. I could talk to whoever I want and still get it out there.
When the gig need a
Y'all lost
journalist,
y'all power. That's what happened.
they call one. I want to see R. Kelly with Gayle King and not Ack.
But now R. Kelly don't gotta go to Gayle King because he can go to those other places that won't press him or won't do the research or don't have the resources or the interest to do that
Let me
because
ask
they
you-
just don't care about
But
it.
Mark, why do you necessarily think that that's true? I think that if somebody had somebody, if Kamala Harris would have came and sat down with us, I think everybody in their own right would have done as much research at home as possible to make that interview interesting and provocative. I don't think that we would have just sat here like, that's so you kind of, and this is my thing. I never hear nobody diss journalists. I hear the journalists diss the other people. It's not the other way around. Nobody's jealous of the journalists. The journalists are jealous of the athletes or the rappers or the other people that have jumped into this particular medium.
it
It's
used to
not
be
the other.
theirs.
Yeah. And
Well,
so-
in
so-
fairness to journalists, they have fucking decimated.
Right, they're the ones that lost.
Print media, especially. Like,
True. I'm not disagreeing.
so they're defensive for
So
a valid
go find a
reason.
So you
swaggy
gotta-
way
yeah.
to journal.
Agree.
But who cares?
Start a
It's
newsletter,
journal.
my nigga.
Print
But
media.
look, Joe, listen. Anybody can go to school for journalism, but journalists that's trying to be content creators, not everyone can be a content creator. Not everyone has that source.
True.
So
I
pick up
disagree.
I can pick up right now and decide to go
That's
to
because
school.
you a hater.
You said you disagree?
I disagree with the premise that-
Hold on. I can pick up right now and decide to go to school and be a journalist. But a journalist cannot come into the field and interview a nigga with the sauce and the swag.
Hence the
It don't mean you're going to be a
And-
good
and-
journalist, by the way.
But that's what I'm saying.
Journalism is still a creative
Yes,
platform.
of course.
Just because you say, "Hey, I want to go to
That's what
school
I'm
to be a
disagreeing
journalist,"
with.
don't mean you're going to be a fucking good journalist.
But I'm pretty sure with my character and my uniqueness and originality, it would get more recognition than a journalist that put the work in for over the years. But this day and age.